With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddhas' mysteries too.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all people. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of the Dharma for all the working mysteries too.
With folded
hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too.
With folded hands,
I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too.
With folded hands, I
beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions and times to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too.
Folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the working mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the mysteries too. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the mysteries too.
since we now know the importance of setting motivation and how is that motivation. So right now, learning from the explain from the beginning that Vijayanath take the mic and then go from the beginning, meaning set a motivation every day, the way Vijayanath would explain, that's probably
So we just take a few minutes to settle our bodies and mind, to find your right posture. So make sure your back is straight. And then just focus on the in and out of your breath. And from this quiet space in front of us, we visualize sitting on a beautiful lotus and moon cushion, none other than our holy Guru in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha, one face and two hands. His left hand holds the bowl of nectar and his right hand is touching the ground. And he's surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions, including all our teachers. And even if you can't visualize that, just take a few minutes to feel his presence, his loving, wise, compassionate presence sitting in front of us, looking at each one of us with great love and compassion. And then surrounding us is the bodhicitta field. On either side of us is our kind parents, mother on the left and father on the right. And we are accompanied by all other dear mother sentient beings, leaving none aside, and we are leading them in this practice. And then the purpose of the practice is to manifest the Buddha nature within us, which is the ultimate source of happiness, by removing the two mental obscurations, the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. So keeping the refuge field, the bodhicitta field, and our purpose in mind, we recite the following verses while mentally invoking their profound meanings and associated experiences. Page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Taking refuge in generating bodhicitta, first in Tibetan. Sangye chodam soje chonam la chanju badu dani yapsuji dadi jinso gibe sonam ki rola prencher sangye drupa sho. Sangye chodam soje chonam la chanju badu dani yapsuji Dadi jinso gibe sonam ki Rula venture sange druparshu Sangye chodan soye chonam la Jamju badu dani kyapsuchi Dadi jinso gibe sonam ki Rula venture sange druparshu. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing nor arising. no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the host of bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, the knower of all which leads the hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, the knower of paths which causes the bodhisattvas with altruism to help my awakeners to achieve the aims of the world, and omniscience, the thorough possession of which helps the Buddhas expound a variety of teachings endowed with complete aspects of subjects. The one who is transformed into a reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualization, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all human beings. The essence of the dependent origination mantra was in Tibetan. Om Ye Karma Hetu Prabhava Etum Klesham Tathagato Evadat Esham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vadir Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Karma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Evadat Esham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vadir Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Ye Karma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Evadat Esham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vadir Mahashamanaye Swaha. Meaning of the dependent origination mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Whatever is the cessation of these causes is taught thus by the Great Seer. Profound, peaceful, liberation-free, clear-eyed, and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like karma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance of soft expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unseen, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, I pay obeisance. The 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of the radiance of the beyond. The Buddha does not wash away the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries with his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all regular industries to do. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests. I will engage in the convenient deeds of excellence and enlightenment. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, page 1-5. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the Tathagata, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate and make offerings and go for refuge. When supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, called supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, placed like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust-free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with the qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, the Dharma that pacifies and prostrates. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. I prostrate to the Buddha, the chief of bipeds. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the Supreme One. To all 3 I always prostrate with reverence. With extreme devotion do I always prostrate to all who are worthy of prostrations, to surrendering my body's numbering particles that constitute all realms. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the state of omniscience, subdue before all falls, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of ages, sickness, and death. Page 3-1, the Heart Sutra, 31. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Tripurjana. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha that was dwelling on Master Vulture's mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara. How should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Renunciation, says this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice an activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty and inherent nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feelings, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty. Without characteristics, unproduced, unceased, stateless, not without state, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and ultimate no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in it 3 times also manifestly completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Arya Renunciation, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Arya Renunciation, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra. So we recite the mantra 7 times. Teyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Teyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Teyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Teyata Om Gate Gate Paragate living jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be nullified, may they be may all negative forces close to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 hospitals be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. 8 verses for training the mind, page 34, by Geshe Tangpa. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I feel myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. And when others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped, or in whom I have placed great hopes, mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In grief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of flame, be released from bondage. Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Dedication Prayer, verse 1. From my 2 collections, vast space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Page 39. The 7-limb practice. Excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samantabhadra. I bow down to the youthful iron of Geshe. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the world's 10 directions. To all of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless particles, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way, with infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice. I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugātas. Beautiful flowers and regal garments, sweet music, scented oils and aerosols, sparkling lights and sublime incense. I offer to you victorious ones, fine incense and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder and high as memory. All wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you the victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, fearless and earnest, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength and conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. every harmful action I have done, with my body's speech and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance. All these I openly lay before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions, of solitary realizers, purest restraining, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the world's in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn supremely the karma. With palms together, I earnestly request, you who may actualize Parinirvana, please stay with us for eons, numberless the atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated, by making prostrations or offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Page 4242, the short mandala offering. Do it in English first and then Tibetan. This ground, anointed with perfumes, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine this as a Buddha field and offering. May all sentient beings enjoy this spiritual land. Sashi May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasapa. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that crossed the true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Ratna Mandala Kaviryataya. The next page, page 44. The foundation of all good qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to them is the root of life. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon the Gurus with great respect, and understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous causes follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric pleasures are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Let by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mothers of migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have classified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajrayana. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samana. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. And then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives, please bless me to classify completely all outer and inner Gurus. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Lama. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajrayana. So we recite the meaning of the Miksema verse and then recite the Miksema verse. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrayana, destroyer of the host of demons without exception. So Lama, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snow, Lozandrapa, at your feet I make prostration. You are a look at the shore of great treasure of non-reverential compassion, and unusually master of love and wisdom, as well as light upon you, destroyer of wholesome demons without exception. So Kappa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of souls, Lozan Kappa, at your feet I make prostration.
Okay, thank you, Vijayla. So next is generating the mind of consummate yoga in Tibetan, Tamje Niju Simkyepa. So this consists of 4 parts. Okay, this consists of 4 parts. First, doing 5 minutes of the shamatha meditation, followed by the analytical meditation, series of analytical meditation. First, renunciation. Hello, can you hear me? Those at the back, can you hear me? So first, the 5 minutes of shamatha meditation. Okay, ready? Okay, next renunciation. Here, just follow the instructions and don't think that what the instruction that I'm giving is just like a ritual. This is not a part, just a ritual. It is something that we need to contemplate, and then the benefit will be with you. A renunciation. Oftentimes, people have the belief, the false idea that renunciation means to renounce happiness, to renounce a good house, to renounce the good food, and so forth. This is not the meaning. Renunciation has a connotation of renounce the miseries. To renounce miseries, a wise people will look for ways, means to renounce causes of miseries, the way the Buddha indicated. E dharma hetu prabhava, hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat. All these phenomena arise from causes, and the causes are taught by the Tathagata. And the cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. So this is a wise people's approach. They check the root cause. And the root cause, Buddha identified the first afflictive obscurations and the accompanied by cognitive obscurations to give rise to the lack of infinite ease or the Buddhahood, and to renounce the miseries. What attracts the miseries is the ignorance, and ignorance given rise to its offshoots in the form of inappropriate attention, then giving rise to afflictions, then giving rise to contaminant karmas, and the explosion of miseries happen. As such, the wise people, they will put effort to exterminate the causes. And the causes, as the Buddha indicated, ignorance, which in turn has various levels, in which the Buddha identified at one point identified four of them. Ignorance, which misconceives impermanent phenomena as permanent. Ignorance, which misconceives miseries as happiness. And ignorance, which misconceives impure things as pure. And the ignorance which misconceives what is selfless nature as of selfhood, what is dreamlike nature as objectively real. To counteract these four, the Buddha taught the four seals. The first, all composite things impermanent. What is a composite? What is a composite? Which is composition of the directional parts or temporal parts should necessarily be impermanent. And impermanence is of two kinds: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence, impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. It's extremely important for us to contemplate on the gross impermanence first. Whatever little experience, the experience that you had in your life, you bring them in your meditation. For example, the beautiful days when you had no responsibility, where your parents are there just to take care of you. Those beautiful days, they are now gone. They will never come back in this life. This is the impermanence. And the beautiful sunsets we experienced, beautiful waves that we saw on the oceans, and beautiful music that we heard once upon a time, or beautiful time, beautiful sunshine that happened those days when we were young. They're all gone. 200 years back in time, there were people, the same people. The world was inhabited by a whole different generation, their parents, the children, and so forth.
And the parents, they have so much expectation from the children, and the children likewise has so much expectation from building career of the life. Whether the career plans they accomplished or not accomplished, where they're all gone. The people are gone. Their plans, even if not accomplished, finished, they're all gone. This is reality. But it's not that they're unfortunate and we are fortunate ones. No, it's a matter of time. 200 years down the line in the future, not even a single 8 billion human beings will be alive then. And today, no doubt, young ones, you have careers to build. And the parents, likewise, they are there to support us. They also worry about you. And whether we agree or not, whether they accept it or not, 200 years down the line in the future, not even a single person will be left today. You will be not there. I'll be not there. And your parents, your relatives, no one will be there. Whether your goals are accomplished or not accomplished, is all gone then by that time. This is impermanence. And when you go on sightseeing, go for sightseeing, the old fortresses, the palaces, the pyramids, the coffins, these are the proof of the impermanence. They are still nothing. These are the burial sites where once upon a time someone who was so powerful and so wealthy, powerful, so physically fit, fine, handsome, beautiful, they're gone. These are the proofs that once upon a time somebody so having air of arrogance, air of beauty, air of youth, air of power, air of wealth, now they're gone. And oftentimes, many of them, even the memories faded away. This is impermanence. And our death, impermanence of death, this is also imminent, this is a reality. It is for this reason that the Buddha indicated, whatever gathers will disperse. Yes, once upon a time you are with your parents, with your siblings. Now you're on your own. Oftentimes the parents are gone, left the world. And the siblings, they all started their own nuclear families. And you're separate. They're separate. So this is impermanence. This is what the Buddha indicated as whatever gathers disperses. Whatever is accumulated gets exhausted. And whatever is born dies. Okay. It's quite painful to think of that. It leaves a vacuum in my mind. Painful vacuum. Yes, this is a reality. This reality. Failing to understand this reality, we tend to engage in all non-virtues, thereby depriving us of all the happiness in the future, and instead being constantly inflicted by the pains in the future. So this recognition, realization, that teaching by the Buddha helps us to shun all the miseries, to shun the miseries by abandoning the non-virtues and enrich ourselves with the happiness by reinforcing the virtues. And this impermanence, that you see the obvious impermanence, the gross impermanence is possible only if the change is happening on the momentary level. For example, the change, say those of us who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Look at our body's skin. It is not as beautiful as what it used to be 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. It's tremendous degeneration happened. Decay happened. And this did not happen overnight. It happened year by year. And This degeneration means change. And this change happen year by year. And the change that you see in 1 year is possible only if the change is happening on a monthly basis. And the change that will happen in the monthly basis is possible only if changes happen on the daily basis, hourly basis, weekly with the minute by minute basis, second by second basis, and millisecond by millisecond basis. Which means our bodies change so fast. Yes, it's constantly in a constant flux of change. Yes, like the atoms, how the atoms are moving, how the stopwatch is moving, how the timer is moving so fast. Hardly we can see the digits. It's just like the bees somewhere, like the water boiling the air. This is a subtle impermanence. It's not only confined to you, your body, your mind, your friends, your husband, your daughters, your son, your wife, your parents, the house in which you live, the world, the galaxies, the suns, the stars. All these things are in constant flux of change. Very scary though. This is reality. And our consciousness is so gross that it does not allow us to see the reality, deeper reality. We see as though things are so permanent. It's very scary. Yes, it just shifts our focus, shifts our mindset to a deeper reality. And with this recognition, we're bound to stay away from all the unnecessary non-virtuous actions, anger, attachment, and so forth. From this we understand that we are like our bodies move so fast, changing so fast. The whole world is changing so fast, as though like we are thrown into a very fast moving train. The faster the train moves, more the fear. And why the fear? We don't know where this train is taking us. The faster the train moves, the more the fear. Who decides where this train is taking us? The train driver decides. If the train driver is your mother or your dad, will take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is a terrorist or under the dictate of the terrorist, will only take us to miseries. And in our case, the train driver is our mind, and our mind per se is not a terrorist, but unfortunately this mind is under the dictate of the worst of the terrorists, worst of the contaminations, which is self-grasping ignorance. As long as our mind is under the dictate of this ignorance, the worst of the contaminations, it will only take us to miseries, the slaughterhouse, the miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as the second seal. All contaminated things are suffering nature, miseries. What kind of miseries? 3 kinds of miseries. Okay, simply put, even the gross suffering. One moment such of pain is good enough. The pain of loss in near and dear ones is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of the joys, wonders, merriments, festivities, celebrations, birthday parties. These are all so shallow, so meaningless in the face of one moment experiencing the tragedy of losing near and dear ones. That's true. It's so painful to think of that. And all what people are so infatuated, we see them as so meaningless and shallow and like childish. This is reality. And when will this stop? When will these miseries stop? 2025 stopped on its own. We did not put any effort. Likewise, when will there be a time where all these miseries will stop and we can sigh, we can take a deep breath of the fresh air, sigh with relief? When will that happen? Okay. Don't expect like 2025, which stopped on its own, that these miseries will stop on their own one day. It will never happen. impermanence. While we talk about, generally speaking, we talk about the gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. There's another way of classifying the impermanence. One, impermanence whose continuum invariably terminates. Nobody has to put any effort, invariably terminates on its own, like our youth, like the joys that we experience, like 2025. The second class of impermanent phenomena whose continuum never terminates, like time, like your mind, and so forth. They never terminate. Nobody can do anything to stop these. There's a third class of impermanent phenomena whose continuum will never terminate unless until you put conscious effort. Okay, that's interesting. And the miseries that we go through, miseries that you go through, I go through, these all fall under this category, where only through conscious effort they can be stopped. The painful tears can be brought to an end. Only with a conscious effort. Otherwise, will never stop on its own. The Buddha gave the metaphor. The tears that we shed, if they're from since time immemorial till today, if they are to be gathered together, collected together, will even surpass the whole volume of the oceans, big oceans, massive oceans. And if the skeleton that we have, the bones, the skeleton that we've obtained since the time immemorial till today, if they are to be put together, heaped together, it far go beyond, excel or go beyond the size of the Mount Meru. This is impermanence. This is miseries. And it'll keep going like this. It will never stop. These painful tears will continue to be there. And the bodies that we shed and that the death that we experience will keep going like this unless we put conscious effort. Okay, now it makes some sense. What kind of conscious effort is required? Conscious effort to first of all to identify the root of all these miseries. Yes. And then put effort to counteract it, to introduce the counter force, the remedy to overcome the root of the miseries. And the root, of course, is identified as ignorance. To be in the sleep of the ignorance. The way the example that we gave yesterday, that we dream of being attached to something, fighting with a competitor, and which, because of the act of the karma of fighting with the other person, you end up in the prison, which is samsara. If you want to stop this being in the prison, what you do, you should not be attached to that object. Don't exaggerate the object, the mobile, as the real mobile. And how not to do that? Wake up from sleep of ignorance, to realize that everything is like a dream. While we dream, we don't see the dream as dream, we see the dream as real. This is ignorance. When do we see the dream as dream? Only when we wake up. It is for this reason that the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. And the Buddha is transformed to this fully awakened one, fully awakened state. And because that he is transformed, we also can be transformed. How? By introducing a counter force. What is this counter force to the root of the ignorance? The ignorance which gives us a false impression of the reality, that things exist objectively, not like a dream. And the reality is that everything is like a dream, empty of being real. This is what the Buddha indicated as all phenomena, everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness, like a dream. Just imagine that you wake up from the sleep of the unconventional dream, to discover that everything is like a dream, and all the fears that occurred in dream, that happened in dream, just dissolves instantly. And this experience where all the miseries of samsara dissolves, realizing that everything's like a dream, this is what the Buddha indicated as transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Just stay in this experience for a while. Okay, this experience where all your miseries are transcended, that you're freed from all these miseries, that aspiration to embody this experience where all your miseries and sorrows are transcended, this aspiration is known as renunciation. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, now slowly come out of this practice to move to bodhicitta. Sorry. Okay, ready? So this is analytical meditation. All this analysis, and you see that there is something change. There's some change is happening in your being from otherwise just scatter to more concentrated and seeing the reality deeper, and emotional change also happens. This is due to the analytical meditation. Stability meditation has its own benefit to calm down your mind from disturbance. So here it's very different. It'll take you to a different domain of the spiritual realizations. Okay, next. Bodhicitta. For bodhicitta, of course, in this retreat, we are doing the bodhicitta. We'll do all the steps, but at the moment we are creating the background information. We're creating this platform or the background to learn about the bodhicitta. So for the time being, we do the 4 meshpals. And again, it's going to be analytical meditation. We just need to follow the instructions and try to invoke the experience as much as possible. Ready? And at times, these practices your mind may not really resonate with these practices. It doesn't matter. And some people, they say that they complain that this practice seems so superficial. My mind does not really resonate with these. So what should we be doing? So the answer is that when we practice music, to play the what do you call that, keyboard and violin and so forth. So although you try to mimic your teacher, it's very superficial. No music comes out, only noise comes out. But keep doing this more and more, which is known as practice. Then the noise will gradually be transformed into very beautiful music. So this exercise to repeatedly engage in this, the same the activity, this is known as practice. Likewise, the practice of compassion. You do this constantly, and gradually your mind, there's going to be a shift in your mindset from what is otherwise very different to something which is very encompassing and embracing. Okay, so for that matter, we need to try our best to flow according to the instructions given, and even though they may not resonate at all with what you think, still we do this, engage in this practice, and gradually you'll find a shift. Of course, it'll take time. It's not that easy. It's not something that can happen overnight. Okay, ready? Renunciation, the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, in the first place, we need to define what bodhicitta is. Bodhicitta is the altruistic intention to be awakened or to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Let me repeat it. Bodhicitta is defined as altruistic intention to become Buddha or the fully awakened one for the benefit of all sentient beings. While there are 2 perfect methods to generate the experience of the bodhicitta, but given that we have not yet done these 2, we're going to do the 4 meshpals. First, immeasurable loving kindness. How good, okay, just try to follow the instructions as much as possible. And even if you cannot really say they resonate, or your mind doesn't really work the way the instruction given, still you try your best to go in this direction, and you may not succeed. Don't worry. Attempt. Give an attempt. That is the success. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The causes of happiness primarily consist of the most fearless mind, which is the wisdom of emptiness, and the most beautiful mind, which is bodhicitta. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars, very soothing lights towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of lesser nectars with the bodies of beings of yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness within you and all dear mother sentient beings. And you, witnessing what is happening to all your dear mother sentient beings, you're intense happy. Take three deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consist of self-grasping ignorance and its offshoots and the self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas Bodhisattvas, witnessing what you are, the responsibility that you are taking, like the mother after all these many years of raising children, today the eldest daughter is just age 12 and the eldest son age 11, two of them come to the mother. Telling the mother, Mom, please take rest, you have done everything for us, we know how much you love us, we also love you. And now we've grown up, we'll take care of ourselves, we'll also take care of our siblings. And Mom, please take rest, we will also take care of you. And this is exactly what all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas feel today, that you have made such a courageous commitment to take the responsibility of all the dear sentient beings. The Buddhas Bodhisattvas, they are so happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars, very soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lesser nectars with the bodies beings yours washes away all the miseries and the causes of miseries from you and from all the dear mother sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dear mother sentient beings, you're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear mother sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that you making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to sample nectars of soothing lights towards you and all their mother sentient beings, and the mere touch of less nectars but the body's beings in yours stabilizes the happiness and causes the happiness the beings endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all your demonstration beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Finally, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear mother sentient beings, leaving them aside. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing what are you doing today? They're so happy and proud of you, like the mother after all these many years of raising children. And today the eldest daughter and the eldest son come to the mother, just aged 12 and 11, telling the mother, while they are so tender, at such a tender age themselves, they come to mother, telling the mother, Mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. Now we're grown up. We'll take care of all the siblings and you also. And the mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. This is exactly what happens to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're so happy and proud to see that you are taking such a responsibility of all the dear mother sentient beings. And this pride and happiness the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of blessed nectars with the body's beings yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion to others, and instead making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear mother sentient beings equally, leaving them aside. And you witness what is happening to all the dear mother sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscoring all the 4 immeasurables is the unconditional love to all the dear mother sentient beings. Abide in this unconditional love to all the beings. Imagining that you are looking at the eyes of all the beings with total love and affection, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. But his mind, with folded hands, let us make the Bodhicitta commitment the most beautiful mind in this world, the mere experience of which just melts your heart to total ease, infinite ease, where all the barriers of disturbance, barriers of hostility, they all dissolve. And your mind just spreads like the light spreading to every nook and corner of the universe, spread to every mind of sentient beings. And this is the most beautiful mind that exists in this universe. And today you generated this. But this mind, let us make this Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. abide in this most beautiful mountain bodhicitta for a while. And this bodhicitta spirit that you've generated, this will guarantee that all the afflictive and cognitive obscurations are eradicated from your mind, and that your Buddha energy inside, the golden side, just glow with infinite ease, where all painful tears subside, all the barriers between you and others will all dissolve, and you embrace every single creature, sentient beings, with total love and affection. Abundance experience for a while. Now slowly transform this beautiful mind of bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, 2 inches, 1 or 3 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting with the heart. Okay, that's amazing that we made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But remember, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I'm not a handful of sand, I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have the Buddha nature within me. This will manifest in the form of Buddhahood. If this were the case, how come that since time immemorial, since primordially till today, why this is not manifested, this Buddha nature is manifested if it exists within you? Yes, that's true. It's all because that I'm being deceived by the two demons, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, giving me the facade that they are the best of the friends and the best of the safety and security. And today I'm disillusioned by these two demons. These two are demons. These two are not at all far from being the best of my friends. These two are the demons. Okay, I'm disillusioned by these two. So what are we going to do? I'm going to exterminate these two so that all the mental defilements, both afflictive and cognitive obscurations, will be eradicated. And the Buddha nature inside, the beautiful Buddha nature inside, the hidden treasure inside, will be manifested fully, so that I can become totally independent of all the material things which thus far I've been chasing after, expecting that, thinking that they will give me the maximum benefit. On the contrary, they only gives me pains, painful tears. Now I can become so independent of these, that my true hidden treasure manifests. I become totally independent of these, that I get the maximum, the happiness that I'm seeking, and all my painful tears stop. That's amazing. But what are going to do to exterminate these two demons? So it's by introducing a counter force, the very powerful counter force. What is that? The non-dual bodhisattva, the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. Okay, what is that like? So we're yet to be introduced to emptiness, but just imagine that that wisdom is to realize the reality. And what's the reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as everything is like dream, empty, like a dream. Okay, just imagine that you wake up from this, just as we wake up from the conventional dream every day, and that the fears in the dream, the nightmare in the dream stops the moment you wake up. Likewise, imagine that you wake up from the dream of the unconventional dream, the dream of the samsara. You wake up from this, and all the painful experience of samsara stops. Wow, that's amazing, amazing. Or you just imagine that you are seeing everything like dream. Just you wake up from the dream, then nothing of the contents of the dream can affect you the moment you wake up. Likewise, nothing in samsara can affect you at all. This is the freedom. This is the liberation. Wow, that's amazing. So slowly transform this wisdom, realizing everything like a dream, into a spotlessly thumb-size white vajra. If you don't know what vajra is, don't worry. Just like thumb-size, a thumb-size the object, and vertically sitting on the Montesquieu heart. Okay, this is known as the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas. The title of the book, the title which we have chosen for the book that we are using, the blaze of non-dual bodhicittas. It's non-dual, the two bodhicittas in non-dual state, and blazing this, blazing your whole being, whole universe with these two to guarantee that all the defilements will be consumed, will be eradicated. Okay, so this moon is symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, and this will guarantee the exterminate self-centered attitude. And Vaishnava is symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of the emptiness of Arya Bodhisattvas. This will guarantee to exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive obscurations and accounted obscurations, thereby guaranteeing you that your hidden treasure will be manifest completely. Wow, that's amazing. So meanwhile, don't forget that all the dear sentient beings, they are suffering terribly badly. Just you have shed tears. Your only dear sentient beings, including parents and children, they also shed tears so many times. Yes, generate a very strong compassion for all these beings, including parents, your children, all family members, animals, the hungry ghouls, god and goddess spirits, insects, and so forth. And with this compassion invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one side at the heart of your father, one side with each one of family members, including children, and one with each of the beings here in Thursumling, the animals, insects, hungry ghouls, god and goddess spirit, human beings, the birds, mosquitoes. Everyone has a share of the Vajramoon from you. Likewise, share with all the beings in India, in your own country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and with all the infinite trillions of creatures in the oceans, trillions of creatures in the wilderness, in the forest, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Now everyone has a share of the Vajramoon, which you so generously and they offered. Meanwhile, let us not forget that all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. Why not we request all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be witness to undertaking the ceremony of taking aspiration Bodhisattva vow. As a gesture of making this request, let us slowly stand up along with all the sentient beings to make triple restorations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, if it is possible, you can sit on your right knees. If possible, if you have knee problem, then you can sit in whatever position that you are comfortable with. Otherwise, you can sit on your right knees. And meanwhile, because that this ceremony will take a few minutes. Meanwhile, if you start to feel pain, then you can take your seat in a most comfortable way. Page 49. So this is known as taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And who's entitled to take this? Who's entitled to take this ceremony? Should it be a Buddhist, or should it be somebody, or is there any the commitments tied with this? It is not necessary that you should be Buddhist. You may not even be a believer, is fine, no problem. And then that the Buddhist commitment attached to this, no commitment. So as long as you are somebody who wishes that from today onwards, I'll try my best not to harm others. And from today onwards, I'll try my best to render benefit and help to others. If this is who you are entitled to take this aspiration bodhisattva vow. It has nothing to do with any isms and so forth. This is just to reinforce your compassion, to make you a happier person, and to spread this happiness to others. This is the motive behind what we're doing here. So with this mind, page 49, and I'll explain the first verse, and then later the fourth and the fifth the verse. And okay, the first verse. What we are trying to do here is that we are embarking on the journey to uncover, to unfold the hidden treasure within us. And we have never done it. We did not even have a clue there's such a hidden treasure within us. And today we've discovered that. And of course, the moment this hidden treasure is unfolded, then all the aspirations that we have in a life, not only you, all the sentient beings, the aspiration to stop the painful tears, the aspiration to expand the ease to infinity. So these two aspirations will be fulfilled. So, but this journey is not easy. It's not easy because we have been chronically suffering. We're chronically being infested by the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations since time immemorial. More the duration of the time that you be with these negativities, more difficult it is to get rid of these negativities. But this journey is a very beautiful journey, and the most worthwhile journey that you can think of in this universe. So since that this is a journey which I've never undertaken, just as each one of us, when we come to do something, whenever you go to a new place for the first time, you check with other people as to what for instructions, for advice, and so forth. You need support. Likewise, that this journey is something which we have never undertaken, and this is the most important journey in the entire universe. As such, we require the best of the support system, and the best of the support system that you can think of are the triple gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Buddha doesn't mean Buddhism. It means somebody who is awakened, who has treaded this path, and who has actually reached to the shore where all painful tears stopped and the happiness expands to infinity. So he or she is the most experienced one. For example, you see the depictions of the Avatars on the walls. So they are the she's, they are the female version of the Buddhas who become enlightened. So the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. Dharma is the advice, the teachings, and the Sangha, those people who are in pursuit of this journey. So we take the help of these three. And the journey involves a road. If the road is blocked by the boulders and the fallen trees, again you cannot undertake the journey. So the road is none other than your own mind, and this mind must be freed of the mental defilements like the fallen trees, the boulders, and so forth, like that. The mental negativities like the anger, attachment, craving, jealousy, and negative karmas, and so forth, being judgmental, all these things are to be removed. And how to remove them? The best way by which to do that is by first of all acknowledging and confessing the negativities. Second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Okay, now you have a great support and the road is also very clear, but if the car does not have the fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. The car must have enough fuel, and this car is none other than your own mind, and this mind must have the inner fuel of the virtues. Without virtues, you cannot do anything. All good things happening to us, they are because of the virtues. So, how to accumulate enormous of virtues? For example, say the aeroplanes, domestic aeroplanes and the international aeroplanes, they differ in the size. Domestic aeroplanes, the oil tank or the gas tank is much smaller, and the international, which just the goes the flight across the continents. There, the gas tank is huge, massive. So they require more fuel. And the journey to enlightenment, this is the most important journey. As such, we require the maximum fuel of the virtues. So how do you do that? It says that rejoicing, instead of being jealous, rejoicing in the virtues of others, rejoicing in the virtues of yourself, virtues of others, this is the best way by which to accumulate the virtues very efficiently. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now that you have a great support, the road is clear, and the car is enough fuel, what kind of journey I'm going to undertake? The journey to unfold this hidden treasure within me. The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, let's say this. Okay, if you feel the pain by sitting on the knees, please now sit comfortably. Whichever, whereas if you don't feel the pain, is fine. If you feel the pain, then sit comfortably. The pain should not distract us in this contemplation. So just make sure that you try to let your mind flow with the meanings of these verses. Okay, together 3 times. The 3 verses, first 3 verses. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, I forgot to say one thing. Meanwhile, also keep in mind that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us, all the sentient beings are joining us. Imagine that you are a little girl, just age 5 or 6, or a little boy, age 5 or 6. For the first time in your life, you are making a public appearance on behalf of your school. And just imagine what your parents will do. The parents, whatever they have to, they will leave behind, whatever they have to do that day to join the audience, waving their hands to you, saying that we are all here to support you, to give you. We are so proud of you. This is exactly what all the Bodhisattvas are feeling today. You invited them, and like the parents, they're so proud of what you're doing, and they are so attentively being present in our taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And you, although you are very somebody of a very tender age, just age 5 or 6, but you are such a responsible little girl, a little boy, to the extent that you bring all your siblings with you to giving them also the opportunity to take part in the ceremony. This is exactly what you're doing, to bring all the sentient beings to undertake this journey. And then each one of us, our parents may not be with us here, but out of tremendous affection and love, your parents, your siblings, all the family members, and all the other sentient beings, you are deliberately making them take part in this, to engage in such a meaningful thing, to reap the maximum benefit of oneself, to stop the painful tears, and expand your happiness to infinity. So with this mind, imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. 2 more times. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in the appearing deeds of excellence of enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha, Bodhicitta, to resolutely accomplish the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in appealing to the excellence of enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in appealing to the excellence and enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The next two verses I'm going to quickly explain today, and from tomorrow we'll just read them directly, say them directly. So it begins by invoking all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, your gurus to pay attention to us. And then first it says that, is there anybody who succeeded in this journey of unraveling the hidden treasure? Yes, 2,500 years ago, there was a prince by the name of Siddhartha, and he succeeded in the journey. And how did he succeed? This question. So he succeeded by creating two factors. The first factor is he generated very strong bodhicitta, the motivation of the bodhicitta to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And the second factor, to materialize this aspiration to become Buddha, he actually engaged in the bodhisattva practices, like the 6 perfections and the 4 perfections, making total 10. And now he has become Buddha with the perfection of generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and wisdom. And the 4, the skillfulness, aspirational prayers, power, and the primordial wisdom. So if this is how he succeeded in his journey, by creating these 2 factors, I'll also follow his footsteps by creating these 2 factors. 1, I generate very strong motivation bodhicitta, and 2, to materialize this aspiration bodhicitta, I also engage in bodhisattva practices. So this is what we are reciting 2 times wholeheartedly. And imagine again, you are leading this practice and all please join us. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices. Just feel the joy over having received the aspiration bodhisattva vow. Imagine that the Bodhisattvas, like your mother. Just imagine all these many years of mother hearing the complaints from the school principal that your daughter, that your son, they are so mischievous, always hearing these complaints all these many years. And today the mother again sees the school principal escorted by the school teachers coming to the mother. And the mother again very apprehensive, what kind of complaints? The school principal said, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? She could not believe that. What for? That your daughter, your son, although they are so young, they are appointed as the best of the students of the school for this year. The mother could not believe that this will ever happen, and this is something that which her eyes and ears could not believe. So there's a tremendous, incredible joy to hear this, and this joy, this is exactly what happens to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. All these innumerable lifetimes, they only wish that we shun the negativities, we shun the negative thoughts, afflictions, negative karmas, and so forth. But on the contrary, we always engage in a full swing. We engage in the negativities, and thereby we continue to suffer and shed tears, life after life, and till date, Buddhist Bodhisattva, they only wish to be engaged in the virtues so that we'll have abundance of happiness. On the contrary, we just shun the misery, we shun the virtues and continue to remain being deprived of the happiness. And what you did today is something very different. This is what all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas felt so happy to make them feel, to sigh with the relief. This is exactly what happens today. And this happiness and the joy all the Bodhisattvas feel today because of your having taken the aspiration Bodhisattva vow invokes the Vajramoon in the full-fledged form within them to multiply infinite number of times and share one set of Vajramoon, and then all these replicas of Vajramoon from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that we've, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that we have visualized in your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the replicas of Vajramoon from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that we have visualized the heart of your mother, father, your children, your family members, the human beings, animals, insects, all the beings in the entire universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. This is amazing. So this is the best thing that you can offer as a gift to all the sentient beings. And today you have gifted them with this gift of the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas. And this is the best of offerings that you can make to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And today you made this. And the Buddha declared, one moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems, diamonds, gold, silver, and so forth, and offered to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were be the case, what I mentioned of our having taken the aspiration of Bodhisattva today, so today you have made the greatest of the offerings to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And of your life, with your life, there's nothing greater meaning than this. And today you have given such meaning to your life. And all these are happening because of the blessings and the kindness of all Buddhist Bodhisattvas as a gesture of thanking all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats now. Okay, repeat this 2 mantras after me. This is to stabilize the compassion that we've generated now. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubadayami. Om Surade Samayastam Hosiddha Vajrayata Sukham. Om Surade Samayastam Hosiddha Vajrayata Sukham. Om Surade Samayastam Hosiddha Vajrayata Sukham. Okay, next, the last verse of the same page. We'll just start this 3 times. This practice of compassion is so precious, and yet we find it so less of this practice, wherever you look around you, you see this is not really as well like non-existent, but it's not non-existent. And in our life, we see perhaps some of us we're doing this for the first time. We're hearing this for the first time, and it's so precious. And in order to meet with these teachings and practices, we require a lot of merit accumulation virtues. Virtues are required. So now that we have already met with this and seeing the value of this, precious of this, to make sure that we continue to meet with these teachings and practice in future lives, we include them when we practice consistently in this life. Plus, we include this in the form of very powerful prayer. The verse that we're reading here is for that purpose, to make sure that in the future lifetime we meet with this teaching, the practice. Together, throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay, the next verses from Guided Bodhisattva Swift Life by Bodhisattva Shantideva. And why we're reading the following verses is that some people, some even little girls, little boys, although they are not born in a Buddhist family, but when they see some monks or nuns, or when you hear the word like bodhicitta, compassion, they just feel connected. They feel so joyous inside. This is because of the tendency that they built from the past life. For example, how many of you that in your life you had that experience, like say in your 20s? So is there anybody who is younger than 20? Okay, so 20s, when we reach with your age 20, 30, 40, 50, they say once in a while you smell something, that takes you back in time. Memory, nostalgia happens, smells, or some visuals, or some sound, some music. It takes you back in time, like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and you feel so nostalgic. How many of that experience? Raise hands. Okay. So this is extremely, say, a skill that this is the phenomena that happens in the world, happens in our life, and we need to learn how to use this. So this happens in life. For example, when I was age 8, I lost my mother when I was 5 years old, and for 3 years this little boy was totally lost in school. And suddenly, my school, the class teacher, there used to be class song competition, and the class teacher, he taught us a Tibetan song, and the teacher sang this, and this today we see is a very gross, very coarse, the village song, village folk song. There's no melody there. A very simple song. And the moment I heard this, I couldn't control my tears. This boy, just hearing this song, couldn't control the tears. You know why? This song was sung by my mother. And for the last 3 years, cut off from the song, cut off from the mother. And then suddenly this song brings the memory of the mother, beautiful moments with the mother. And this little boy runs into tears. So, look, this sound of the song and the memory of the mother, these two are tied. When the sound is heard, the memory comes back. Likewise, say the bodhicitta, the word bodhicitta. The word is a sound, and the beautiful experience, joy. These two are tied in this life. Next life you hear the word bodhicitta, this joy will be retrieved like nostalgia will be betrayed. There's so much joy coming to us. And then when the joy comes, you're happy, not happy. You're very happy. You want it more. Then you search, where is this bodhicitta? You go there. And then you will find the place where all these teachings are available in great abundance. Okay, so these verses are to ignite joy, to connect bodhicitta with the joy, so that in future lifetimes, that when you meet with the Dharma, when meet with the bodhicitta, practice teachings of bodhicitta, you feel connected, very strongly connected, and then we can expect gade para samgade bodhi swaha, to attain the state of fearlessness and infinite happiness. Okay, so this here, this much, okay, because that the English translation rendered by Stephen Batchelor, I'm using his translation, and so there he used the word the awakening mind, awakening all the time for bodhicitta. But sometimes in English, when you translate everything into English, sometimes meaning can become a little shallow. So I deliberately added the bodhicitta, because this is the actual thing. So with this mind, we will recite this together. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened mind by bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm one Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, now let us do the declaration prayer. Page 55. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness good. All powerful cherish the Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samadhi too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of deeds in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May I all I, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfume in the 2 stages. Having dispelled all inner and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, may all beings forever enjoy this glory and peace and happiness. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting by what means can enhance his teaching, achieve his supreme savior through strenuous efforts over countless aeons. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Pogge tuje shage reso shenge me tom dege bonjomba serge dumbo tabo jebe ko shage yebo Kela chatseno Mone mone Mahamona Yeswa 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 mone mone Mahamona Yeswa. Three prostrations together.